Hello!
Hello!
In this review video, we're going to show you this electric bike from a new company to us. They're called Hitway, and this is the BK6 folding bike. Now, as you can see, I've got Heather with me for this one because as it's a cutaway frame, she's going to have a go of it, and then I'll do a bit later in the video. So let's get on with it. Excited?
Yeah. We've got gear number 3 and no power on, and I can start this pretty easy. I've had a couple of e-bikes now, and this is a lovely little bike, easy to get on. The one thing that I have noticed is that the gap between the seat and the bars is a little bit closer. So the first time I tried, I went, oh, this is really quite close. But once I'm on the bike, it's a nice seating position. Handlebars are okay, and it's quite comfortable. Now, if I put one speed on, even on speed number 1, I'm still in gear number 3. Okay, I'm on the flat. So, but I'm actually, my legs are going quite fast. So I don't even need it on any of the other 2 gears in order to be able to get quite a speed going along. And I'm actually going at 9 miles an hour. So I like to say it's not uncomfortable at all. I feel that, you know, it feels quite steady and sturdy and not something that I'm going to fall off. Okay, this time I'm starting with it on speed number 1, and if I put the pedal at the top and push down, it gives me acceleration straight away as soon as I push off. So although this is on flat, I can see that obviously if you do that when you're on a bit of a incline, it will actually aid being able to push off quite easily on it.
So, Heather, what do you think of the bike in your brief ride that you've had on it? Okay,
it's nice and light. It's compact. It's very stable. I'm really stable on it. I'm not falling off it. The one thing that I did notice that because it's small, getting on is easy enough, but when I'm pushing off, I seem to be right over the top of the handlebars. But it's not a problem. Like you say, it's one of those things that you just get used to.
Yeah.
Other bikes that I've had, there's been more space between the handlebar and the seat, but of course they wouldn't be a commuter bike.
No. So other than that, you like the way the power delivers and anything like that?
Yeah, I think the power is really good. It delivers really well. Like I say, I think that, going up that bit of an incline that I went up, I was still only on number 1 and I was on gear number 3, and it was pulling the bike and me. So, it's a nice little bike.
All right, so that is the opinion of someone on the shorter range. This bike is built for people from 5'4" to 6'4". Now Heather is 5'4" and I'm 6'4", so you're going to see sort of 2 variants, one extreme to the other on this video. Right, we've lost Heather now. She's had to go and do what she's got planned for today. So the rest of the review is me, unfortunately for you. I'm going to give you my opinion on the bike as always. Just to let you know, although the sun is shining, it's a really cold day. We've had a massive frost overnight and it's obviously now melting like mad, so there is mud everywhere along the canal towpath that I'm riding on, and also the bike's already filthy. So let's see how we go with this one. So as always, I'm going to put the bike through its paces on a mixture of road, off-road. It's billed as a commuter bike. I don't think it really knows what it is. It's obviously got semi-fat tyres. They're 20 by 3 inch on this, so not full fat 4 inch ones, but certainly they're not the skinny tyres that you'd normally associate with a commuter bike. Yeah, so the bike's pretty easy to ride. The power delivery comes in really quickly. The one thing I would say though, being quite a short bike, it's very jittery because the wheels being so close together, but it's not terrible. It's not a mile muncher, but it's okay for commuting, I guess. But yeah, it's a nice ride. It's comfortable. There is front suspension on the bike, but it's not lockable, so it's always on. And although it's a hardtail bike, by that I mean there's no rear suspension, there is a suspension seat post on it. So combined with the fat tyres, it's not a bad ride. As I say, the main issue is the length of the bike does cause it to be a bit jittery, and obviously I'm the tallest recommended rider for this bike at 6'4", so my knees are quite close to the handlebars when I'm pedalling. It also tops out very quickly. You run out of gears. I'm in gear 7 on power 3, and yeah, 15.5 mile an hour assisted is probably as much as you're going to get because your legs are just going round too quickly. It's I guess very, low geared, unfortunately, which is good because it allows you to be on the power all the time. I've got it on power 3. I'm not going to break my back riding this, that's for sure. And the really strange thing about it is you seem to get the power delivery that quickly, and then when you've stopped pedaling, it continues to power for a sort of second or so afterwards. So you seem to be forever being pushed by the power. It's really strange. So one thing I find very, very strange, and I will show you this when we're on the tarmac, because it's a bit skitty on this. It's very, very slippery and muddy today. It doesn't matter how much faster than 15.5 you go, the speedo only indicates 15.5. So even if I could get the bike up to 20 miles an hour, for some reason it only indicates 15.5. I don't get that. I know the legal limit for assistance is 15.5, but if you want to make a push bike go 30 miles an hour, it's not illegal as long as it's not being assisted. So it seems very strange that the speedo cuts out at 15.5. I don't know why they've done that really. You can probably see now I'm on the tarmac. Just says 15.5 all the time. And I'm in gear 7. And pretty much you wouldn't want to go any faster than this anyway. My legs are going quite quickly, but I'm probably going faster than 15.5. I don't know what Heather's said while she's been riding the bike, so apologies if we've repeated ourselves somewhat in this. As I say, she was only available for sort of half an hour or so, so I did want her to have a go on it so that we could give a fair review for tall and short people. My initial thoughts are, it's a very, very comfortable bike to ride. I just prefer a bigger bike, being a bigger guy, There's no doubt, in my mind, it'd make a perfect bike for commuting on. For a more average sized person, for me, I don't think I could commute on the bike due to the size of it, But that's not the bike's fault, that's my fault more than anything. I'm also not a fan of the narrow handlebars on any bikes really. I just don't feel as stable on them. But again, no detriment to the bike itself or to the company, it's just if you want to buy a bike like this, then you know what you're looking for, and that's the kind of thing you're happy with. But for me, it would only be something I could use for a short journey. Certainly wouldn't replace any of the bikes that I've ever used before now. But as I've said, if it suits you for what you want to do, then it's a perfectly fine bike. So as normal, later on in the video, I'll show you around the bike when it's parked up static, and I'll run you through the facts and figures. But for now, we'll just carry on riding along and enjoying the weather and the bike to a degree. Right, so one thing I have noticed, as I've said, with it being quite short, there's a lot of tree roots growing through the tarmac here, and it's making it very jittery jumping along. We've got a big steep hill coming up now, so I've changed down to one of the easier gears, and let's see how we can get up here. Don't forget, I'm always doing these tests one-handed to a point, so I do struggle putting a bit of effort in. But yeah, we're going to make it, but you can tell there isn't a massive amount of torque in the motor. We're certainly not flying up here. It would be better with two hands, but we've made it. So I think I am being slightly unfair to the bike. I'm probably trying to test it in scenarios that it's not really made for. And I think that's due to it having fat tyres. I'm kind of expecting it to do more than it probably could. Let's try it on the road after I've run through all the details of the bike, and we'll see what it's like then. Okay, so we've got the bike in my favoured position halfway through the ride, where I basically talk you through it. Now again, apologies for the state of it. It is very muddy, as you can see over there. Everything is now started defrosting after the mad freeze we had last night, so the bike's suffering, but no detriment to the bike, you can still see it. So what have we got? It is a 250 watt hub drive motor producing 32 Newton meters of torque. Now there is no throttle on this bike at all. It is purely pedal assisted. There is a walk assist function, which you get into by pressing one of the buttons on there, and I will show you that in a moment. But no throttle at all, purely pedal assisted, so totally UK legal. It does come with a CE certificate in the instruction books, but also it has got all the stickers on the frame there, if you can see through the mud. The battery is a 36 volt 12 ampere hour lithium ion battery, and as I say, the display is your usual, runs you through all the miles, your trip, etc, etc. Turn the lights on, adjust the speed levels 1, 2 and 3. The 3 assist modes, number 1 is up to 9 miles an hour, number 2 assists up to 12, and number 3 assists up to the legal limit of 15.5. Obviously, being UK legal, its top assisted speed is 15.5. They're saying the range is, and this is really obscure, anything from 22 to 55 miles. Now that's one huge difference, and obviously we always say on these videos, it totally depends on the rider weight, it totally depends on the terrain that you're on, it totally depends on what power assistance you have it on. All I can tell you is the battery was fully charged when I started the ride, and when Heather had a go on it. We'll see what we've got left at the end of the ride. It's not a true indication because you wouldn't be doing all the messing about I'm doing on a normal ride, but that's all I can really show you. The frame is obviously your normal aluminium alloy. It does fold and break in the centre there very easily. You just lift a safety clip up, lift that lever out, and it folds in half. The handlebars drop down. I'll insert a picture of it actually in the back of the car and in its folded up position. As I've said, it's got front suspension, but they aren't lockable. It's always on. It's a hardtail bike, meaning no rear suspension, but it does have a suspension seat post. We've got your standard tawny 7-speed Shimano gears. And the tyres, as we've said, are 20 by 3 inch, and they are puncture resistant tyres. The weight of the bike comes in at just over 25 kilos as it is, and it takes around 5 to 6 hours to charge from empty. And as we've said earlier on in the video, rider height anything from 5'4" to 6'4", and maximum weight 120 kilos. So, you know, I'm a big guy, we're on the limit weight wise and height wise, so that will affect the range. You can get a basket on the front. You can see where these screw holes are there. That is an extra, and at the time of filming this, they're around £40. You'll see that there are no reflectors on the wheels, even though there are holes there to fit reflectors. I did wonder why I hadn't had reflectors sent with mine, but Hitway informed me this is because this bike comes with reflective tape on the tyres. That tape lights up, so it doesn't need the reflectors on this. Some come with reflectors, some come with reflective tyres. I've got one of those. You've got your normal light on the front and light on the back. That is also a brake light. Battery is your standard removable. Just take the key out, lift that up, and the seat flips up. I'll show you that in a minute. Normal brake levers, they are mechanical, so cable operated. We've got discs front and rear and a built-in bell. Obviously the handlebars are fully adjustable with quick release brackets on, and that is where they fold. Same with the seat. The suspension seat, hopefully you can see that. It's got a little shock absorber in there, and then on the front, I don't know if I can do this, but now I can't push it well enough, hang on, just trying to show you the front forks really. See the suspension on the front there. So to take the battery out, there is a little lever under there. The seat flips up, key to unlock, push in, down like that. This will now lift out, so you can take that battery with you should you want to take it inside to charge. To put the battery back in, there's a set of guides just down the back there, and a guide on the battery. You've just got to line that up, drop it down like that, push the battery home, turn the key, and we're back on. Also note on the battery, although I don't know if you can see in this daylight, there is a power meter, and you can see I've lost 1 bar at the top there. That's also shown on here. So if we press and hold the center button to turn it on, you can see I've lost 1 bar on there. And we've currently done 7 miles since starting the ride. However, like I say, a lot of that has been messing around. Plus takes your power speeds up to 1, 2 and 3, down. If you press and hold the plus button, it turns the lights on. You probably can't see in this light, but trust me, the lights are on. And as I said, although it doesn't have a throttle, it does have walk assist. By pressing and holding the minus button, I've got to be careful here because you don't constantly hold it. So press the minus button. We're into walk assist now, but it will stay in walk assist. So it's not like you've got to press the button to hold it down. So be careful, if you did drop the bike, the motor will continue to run. And then walk assist is off now. So toggling through with the center button, it just shows you all the different parameters. Now, this was on 0 when I started the ride. However, because I've just pulled the battery out, we've lost all the other settings, unfortunately. But you can see it normally show you your trip. Vol 37.6, that's the voltage of the battery, that's what's left in the battery. And then time, we've actually been riding and messing around for over 2 hours already. So 7 miles in and we've lost 1 bar. Let's go and do some road riding. Okay, so we're now on the road where the bike feels a lot more stable. I'm now going to attempt to ride up what is probably the steepest hill around where I live. I'm not too sure whether I'll make it, to be honest. The bike, 32 Newton meters of torque isn't a great deal. to pull a fat bloke like me up, but we'll give it a go. I have got it in the easiest gear and in position 3, and you'll note because of the jaunty angle, I've now got the camera on the handlebars, so I am using both hands. I have got another camera with me, but I'm going to try and attempt to hold that while I hold the handlebars, and so you can see how steep the hill is. I mean, it's coping okay, and I will do a bit of cycling soon with no power at all, but I just wanted to see what it was like. I mean, we're doing 7 miles an hour. Yeah, the one thing I'm noticing, which I can show you with the other camera, just going up the hill, the battery is now down to 2 bars. Now I know that that will recover somewhat, and I know I'm being lazy by not putting some effort in, but I was more trying to test the motor to see if it had got the torque to pull us up, and in fairness it has. So it surprised me there in the way that it's actually got up here, albeit I have cheated and had it in the easiest gear possible just to make it get up here. So fair play, we have done that. Right, so I've turned off the power completely. We're now just using it as a pedal cycle, so relying on the gears, and I'm finding it very, very easy to ride. Yeah, no issues at all really. As I keep repeating myself, the only issue I've got is while I'm doing this one-handed, if I get to an incline and I'm in the wrong gear, I do struggle a little bit, but that's not the fault of the bike, that's my fault really. I could mount the camera a lot easier, but sometimes it's better to film and be able to just pick it up and press on when I want. So, gear 7, no power assist, bit of a hill. Yeah, my legs are burning. Let's just change gear. We've now gone into gear 4, and it's okay. I think the problem is me being so tall. I don't know if you can see, I'm very close to the steering. It's not a great position for riding the bike, for leg extension. You know, it says it's for 6'4" people, but I mean, I'm nowhere near extended on the leg all the way down. Can you see that? So I can't get full leg extension, so it does tire you out somewhat. There's one thing I will say, it rolls really well. I know the tyres aren't super fat, they're not super skinny, but it doesn't tend to hamper you. I've just rolled down a really slow and gentle hill there, and it doesn't tend to slow you down like the fat tyre bikes do. So yeah, pretty easy to ride on a nice flat surface like this. As I say, no power on. I'm now in gear 6. You could ride all day long without assistance on this type of terrain. It really is just when you hit a bit of an incline that it becomes a bit harder to ride at my height because of the leg extension. But on the whole, fairly easy to ride, and got no problem with the seat. It's very, very comfortable with this very padded seat. So swings and roundabouts, the bike is not for everything and it's not for everyone, but if you pick the exact scenario that you're going to need it for, then it's perfectly adequate. There's certainly been no need for me to have it on power assist as much as I've had it on, but just being lazy, to be honest. Oh. My camera mount snapped off. Boo. I don't know how that broke, but never mind. Just have to get a new one, won't I? Fantastic. You want to know what this is for, don't you? Well, I do wonder if it's a seat because it's padded, but of course there are no foot pegs. I also know that there is a rack underneath for carrying some panniers that you can get off their website, so I'm wondering whether it's just for decorative purposes. I'm also wondering whether I should try and ride it while sitting on that seat. Cue the clown music. It's a bit light on the steering. So there we go then. That was the Hitway BK6s. Now the S stands for step through, in case you didn't know. As always, there is a discount code in the description box below. And if you do want to purchase one of these bikes and you do it through my affiliate link, I do get a few pence, which makes the review worth doing and would also maybe pay for my camera mount. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully see you on another review video soon. Bye bye.